It's my hope that the next Leadership Academy helps you to sleep better at night by understanding how you can use and leverage your leadership within your organization to meet and successfully thrive with many of these challenges that we're confronting us in the 21st century. To do so, though, we're going to have to think about our leadership roles differently. And in the white paper, Press and Goff give us a couple ways to think about leadership today versus leadership tomorrow. Let's spend a moment to look at these. Today, a leader leads a defined team of followers. Tomorrow, a leader leads an open and dynamic network of teams and followers. I think that's consistent with much of what we talked about in the next academy. The need to think about structures and networks in our companies very differently. Secondly, a leader is formally or semi-formally assigned, acknowledged, and defined today. Tomorrow, leadership is defined by role and it's contextual. We've talked throughout the Leadership Academy about the importance of leadership being associated not with titles, not with authority, but with the ability to influence. And who influences and how that's done is contextual. It depends on the situation. Hopefully, we're building companies in which we're pushing our leadership functions and practices down. We're pushing our decision-making down to those with the expertise to make the decisions. Third, leaders today, there are defined organizational structures with clear, direct, and dotted lines. We've signified this a number of times in our next Leadership Academy by the traditional bureaucratic hierarchical organization. We've talked about that tomorrow structures will be organized through networks of influence. Multiple leadership roles are networked, dynamic, and highly contextual. Multifunction project team structures are an increasingly popular way of organizing. We've flattened our organizations and we've moved into team-based ways to approach the challenges of leading in the 21st century. Number 4, in the past, teams were structured for command and control. Back in Module 1, we made the case that these structures are simply inadequate, insufficient for leading in a VUCA world. Instead, tomorrow we're going to need teams that are structured for agility and for performance. We talked about the importance of organizations today being built to change, not being built to last. Fifth, a leader today needs vision, direction, plans, and followers on a relatively stable roadmap. In the future, a leader is going to need a core vision and insights, but the rest is highly dynamic and uncertain. We spent a great deal of time trying to understand the visionary process, the importance of building a vision, co-creating that vision, a vision that bubbles up from your organization, and you as a leader give voice to the aspiration and the visions of others. Next, we talked about leader effectiveness today depending on their influence of individuals, but in the future that influence is going to spread through new media that offers multiple challenge to extend the leader's influence in ways not seen before. We've talked about this before as a leader's social and human capital, as we're able to extend our influence through our network and social network capabilities. And lastly, today communication channels are tightly managed and controlled by the brand. And in the future, user-generated content on new media channels affects the brand, the image, and the influence. And leaks are quickly spread via social media, potentially derailing leaders and organization. All business leaders must demonstrate skill and strategy in using these new communication channels. This chart is kind of a simple way for us to look at visually the difference between maybe the leader of the past and the leader of the future. Where are you in this scale? And most importantly, are you willing to move and make the necessary changes to become the leader of the future?